There are a million and one ways to market your business. You could be doing flyers, you could be posting leaflets through doors, you could be doing Google ads, you could be doing Meta, Instagram and Facebook ads. You could be doing anything, you could be doing billboards. The trouble is you're not choosing one and you're not sticking to it. You're not working from data, you're not rehashing when you get that data back and you're not trying different stuff. You could throw some leaflets out there, put 500 leaflets out on lampposts, but if you don't look at what's actually coming back from it, you're never going to know if it's worked. The same goes for Google ads, for Instagram ads. If you don't actually look at the data on the other end of things, you're never going to know what's going on. Because there are a million and one different ways to market your business, and most of those systems will work. It's just in 2026, a lot of those options are more leveraged than others. So I use leaflets as an example because, it's quite an old system in this day and age when you've got the things like Instagram ads and Facebook ads and Google ads to an extent. The idea of putting leaflets out there is insane because, the return on investment on something like that is ridiculous, right? People often when they get a leaflet, they just bin it. But if you create content and you create ads and you're putting that on people's feeds, into people's algorithms, where people's eyeballs are for many, many hours of the day, what do you think the return on investment is going to be on that? It's going to be a lot higher than the leaflets. And there have been changes to the way that these adverts work because in the past it was all about the targeting, it was all about the back end. But Meta have made changes and it means that these ads are now focused on the actual creative, on what you're actually saying in the advert. Everyone talks about how the algorithm knows what you want before you even want it. The algorithm's so fine-tuned to you as a person. Well, that's true for the ads side of things as well. If you can make an advert that calls out your target audience, the algorithm is going to find that target audience for you. Now, of course, there is still other stuff to do on the back end, which is what a marketing partner like myself could handle for you. But it just means that there is so much leverage when it comes to running paid marketing on social media because you could try all those different ancient strategies, but the return on investment is just going to be so much more valuable here in paid marketing. Now, partnering that with organic content, which you may be doing already, you may not be, is really going to build your credibility as a brand, as a business, and your personal brand because you know this already. People connect with people. The idea of having a personal brand isn't new anymore, but you see the people who are winning at it. You see the people who are succeeding at doing it well. I got an advert the other day for a solar panel company. I would never think to, of course there's a business doing that, but, for me, I would just Google a solar panel company. But now that I've seen this guy who comes across as shit hot at what he does, he knows what he's talking about, he's built his credibility because he's got customer testimonials on his page. I'm now thinking of him if I ever want to get solar panels. The same goes for tire. A tire company. There was a mobile tire van that I went past. I thought, oh, cool. And then I actually saw his ads on social media as well. And now I'm not going to go to QuickFit or, enter other tire shop here. I'm thinking of him because he's a mobile service. That's going to save me time. Yeah, he might be a little bit more expensive, but think about the return on investment in me using that service. I don't have to drive to the tyre shop, sit there for an hour while they change all the tyres. You can just come to me, while I'm at home, do it on the driveway. Cool, here you go, mate, here's 200 quid. Thanks very much. The service is irrelevant. You need to prove to your audience that you are the best at what you do and you are what you say you are. And that comes from paid marketing, calling out your target audience. It comes from organic content, showing the work that you actually do, and then customer testimonials, because those are so much more powerful than you think. Reviews are great, but actually getting a customer on camera, talking about you, talking about your business, why they chose you and why they would recommend you again, is so unbelievably powerful. I've got a testimonial on my Instagram page. I've had a lot more interest since I posted that. That's not a mistake. That there is a reason for that. People trust when they see other people singing your praises. Again, the service doesn't matter. You could be a gym, you could be a bricklayer, you could be a dentist, you could be a salon. Really doesn't matter. As soon as people see someone actually having a positive experience with you, with your brand, they are going to buy into you a whole lot more. But going back to the second point that I just mentioned, organic content is still key. Now, you can do the paid marketing, you can have customer testimonials, but you still need to be active on social media. These platforms reward being active, being on them constantly, uploading stories every day, putting reels and other content out there very, very consistently. Because if you don't, they view you as not really a valuable asset to them. Why are they going to push your content out there if you're not very active? These platforms reward engagement. So the more you can keep people engaged, the more you're posting, the more you're going to get rewarded. And this system that I've outlined is what's known as a flywheel system. Compared to a traditional funnel where everyone comes in the top and trickles down, this is a flywheel system that keeps spinning faster and faster and faster as your brand grows. And that's where the value is in 2026. It's not just getting people in and dragging them through your funnel. It's building your brand, showing them more and more stuff, giving them more and more value up front. And then as that wheel spins, your brand grows. And the likelihood is, as that wheel is spinning faster and faster, you're going to have much more warm leads for your business, warm customers, whatever it is that you sell. You're going to have people who are much more interested in that. There is no better way than to meet people where their eyeballs already are, and that's on their phones. Now, if you're interested in learning how I help businesses and how I put this system in place for companies just like yours, DM me the word camera on Instagram and we can get started.